It's going down. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of It's Going Down, being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. World's biggest economy dangerously close to recession. Analysts. It says J.P. Morgan Chase slashes its growth forecast for the United States as consumers curb their spending. And as you can see right there, we can clearly see what they're talking about when they show the Statue of Liberty, which only exists here in the United States, namely in the state of New York. J.P. Morgan Chase has revised its mid-year U.S. growth outlook, sharply lowering expectations for second quarter annualized real GDP growth, domestic domestic production growth to 1% from 2.5%, Bloomberg reported on Friday. The largest U.S. bank also cuts its projection for the third quarter to 1% to 2%. However, growth is expected to tick up to 1.5% in the final 3 months of the year, boosted by robust car production and lower inflation, J.P. Morgan analysts said. The downgrade comes amid a tightening of monetary policy as the United States Federal Reserve responds to inflation with aggressive interest rate hikes. The Fed raised the key interest rate by 0.75 of a percent point in June. The gloomy forecast followed an influx of weaker data earlier this week that showed that U.S. consumer spending rose less than expected in May as motor vehicles remained scarce. Meanwhile, higher prices forced cutbacks on purchases of other goods. It says our forecast comes perilously close to a recession, which America's economy is currently in a stagflation. For those who don't know, Michael Ferroli, J.P. Morgan's chief U.S. economist, said in a note seen by the agency. However, we continue to look for the economy to expand in part because we think employers may be reluctant to shed workers even in a period of soft product demand. So, as you hear right here, man, America, which is supposedly the world's largest economy, is dangerously close to a recession. Which is BS, by the way, because whether if you believe it or not, we are already in a recession. You people just don't know it. Okay? And you might ask, what is a recession? A recession is a slowdown in economic activity. Okay? A recession starts when a country consumes more than it produces. America is a country that consumes more than it produces. This is where you get a destabilization of an economy from. You know, a country must produce just as much as it consumes. Now, if a country produces more than it consumes, then you have a good economy. But if a country consumes more than it produces, you have a bad economy. And what we are looking at is what? We're really heading into a depression. You see, they want you people to think that we're heading into a recession, but we're already in a recession. We're in a recession getting ready to head into a depression. Okay, they even admitted that the gross domestic production is what? 1% to 2.5%? You know? And that's just the growth. And you might ask, what is the gross domestic production? Well, a country's gross domestic production It is the overall merchandise that a country produces and sells, and the overall profit or money that the country makes from its sales is what makes up the country's GDP. But a country can only produce and sell its merchandise to other countries depending on how the businesses and corporations do throughout the country. So with all these corporations and these different businesses closing down around the country, or moving out of the country to other countries to set up business, it's not looking too good for the growth for the gross domestic production here in the United States. So many businesses are starting to close down and go overseas, or they're just shutting down because they can't afford to stay open because of the lack of workers and because of the lack of support coming from the government itself. So we're in a recession right now. But they don't want you people to know that. They want you people to think that we're getting ready to head into a recession. Well, if we're getting ready to head into a recession, how come gas prices are skyrocketing? How come food prices are skyrocketing? How come food prices are skyrocketing? We're getting ready to head into a recession. Meanwhile, food prices are skyrocketing, gas, and which is all systematically being done. It's all systematically being done, but that don't change the fact that there is a slowdown in economic activity. Zephaniah chapter 3. This is Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 5. Okay, it says, "The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light." So the Lord's judgment is being brought to light. This is all a part of the Lord's judgment right here. "And he faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame." Now let's go from there to the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 1. "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." So sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Okay? America shall no longer be called tender and delicate. Okay? And tender and delicacy are synonymous with what? Comfort. This is no longer a country of comfort anymore. Everybody's on the edge of their seats. You got people complaining about food prices. You got people complaining about empty shelves. You got people complaining about certain merchandise they don't even sell on the shelves anymore. You got people complaining about gas price spikes. This is no longer a place of comfort. People protesting over abortions. There's just all kind of madness going on here in the United States. But with that, I'm going to say, Shalom is on to the next one.